So, some of you might be wondering where I've been for the last 2 months since I did my last upload. And as you can tell by the car behind me, where I'm sitting, stuff like that, a lot has changed for the channel. So I've been busy, but I'm back now, hoping to make some more frequent videos and stuff like that. So we'll just get into where I've been and what I've been up to. So, yeah. So before on the channel, when I was doing my videos, they were based in the UK because that's where I was living at the time. But I'm not sure if there was any guesses by the background outside or the license plate on the car, but I'm not in the UK anymore. So I'm actually living in New Zealand, so it's a bit different, a bit further away, so pretty much as far away as I could get from the UK, the other side of the world. A lot has changed as opposed to the cars and stuff as well. My career, I'm actually a mechanic now, full time. That's what I do for a living. So, and I've been doing that for the last 2 months. So I'm a lot more confident doing stuff to the car. So there's going to be a lot more videos of me working on the car, keeping it going and stuff like that. So that's sort of what the channel's going to shift into. I'm still going to do car reviews. I'm going to do reviews on the car I got now, of course, and mates' cars as they come. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of good videos. And if you're watching this, it means you've stuck around over the last 2 months, which is crazy. So yeah, hopefully it'll be worth the wait. But I'm sure you're all wondering what this is behind me, what it's all about. So why don't we just have a talk about that, because this thing's awesome. So let's talk about that. So for those who don't know, in New Zealand, a lot of the cars here are Japanese imports, just because they don't make a lot of cars new in New Zealand, and Japan's quite close to New Zealand, so it makes sense to import our cars from there. So Japanese cars here are a lot more affordable than they are in the UK. And not only that, they don't salt the roads here because it doesn't snow in this part of New Zealand, so they don't rust either. So it's just a sort of haven for someone who's into Japanese cars like myself. So when I came here, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to own something like this. So obviously this is a Integra DC5 Type R. This one's a Japanese import as well. It was imported to New Zealand in 2015. I think it's had 4 owners in New Zealand before me. The guy who I bought it off is a great guy, super into cars. He got rid of this because he didn't have space for this and his Maserati, so he had to make the choice. But it's lucky for me because it ended up meaning I could have it. So this car, my dad actually found for me. So the story goes, he was looking for his car in like a used car lot, and he saw this thing just tucked away in the back corner. And the dealership, I don't really think knew what it was. They actually had it listed as an automatic, even though it's a manual. And it was up for a really reasonable price. I'll get into why it was priced accordingly. But it was up for a really reasonable price. I already had a car, but I was like, oh, I'll just go have a look at it. And I test drove it, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. So my previous sort of favorite car was my Subaru WRX in the UK. But this thing just drives just better, to be honest. It's just a better driving car. It's not as fast. It's only, it's 220 brake horsepower NA from the 2-litre VTEC. So it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's just such a great driving experience. So they had it up for sale, and I made them an offer, a very cheeky offer, an offer that was a lot less than what they were actually asking for the car, expecting to negotiate, and they just agreed. They just agreed straight away, so I ended up buying the car, and I had it, and I absolutely love it. I've had it for probably about a month now, and it's just amazing. I absolutely love the car. So I'll just actually run down some of the stuff that's been done to it first. So because this is a legitimate Japanese imported Integra, it has a load of goodies that are a lot better than the standard sort of Integra that you'd get in America. So the DC5 Integra Type R like this was actually only available in Japan. In America, you had something called an Acura RSX Type S. And then in other parts of the world you had different variants and stuff like that, but this is the top model, and what sets this one apart mainly is the engine. So this engine is a K20A variant, which is the most powerful version of this engine. 220 brake horsepower from factory, and that's naturally aspirated from the 2-litre VTEC engine. This one is obviously, I need to paint the valve cover, and that'll be in a future video, but other than that, it runs beautifully. So yeah, that's one of the main differences. I know it's also 30 kilo lighter than some other models. It's got different gearboxes. I think some of the engine internals are forged like a lot of Japanese cars and stuff. So, but there is a load of differences, more than even I can list off, that make this the one to have and the desirable one. So in here it has a K&N cone filter, not a panel filter, it's actually a cone filter. So, and those are actually quite expensive. In New Zealand, a lot of the car parts here are actually really expensive, I've found, compared to the UK. Just stuff's harder to find. Like a lot of the bits for this you have to either get from Japan or America, and some are for the European cars, because I work at a European garage. A lot of our parts are from Germany and America as well, and they just seem to be a lot more expensive than the UK, just because of freight costs and stuff like that. So it's got this oil cap. This was already on it when I bought it. It's got hard race engine mounts, so they're quite hard to see. I'm not even sure if it's even that particular engine mount, but it's got hard race engine mounts, which make this thing extremely stiff. It is undaliable. It is super, super stiff. You feel everything vibrate through the chassis, but it makes it amazing to drive. And engine-wise, it's pretty much just got the intake, and then it also has an exhaust system of some kind. I'm not really sure what exhaust it is. I kind of thought it was stock when I first got it, until I saw on the exhaust tip right there, it might be hard to see, it's got a certification sticker. So exhaust you don't normally have to get certified unless they're too loud, which apparently this one was, so it needed it. I don't think it's that loud. Hey-ho. So performance-wise, in terms of engine and stuff, it's really just the intake and exhaust, which is good. I didn't want one that was too modified anyway. Aesthetically, I'm sure everyone's clocked these bad boys right here. So these are NK RPF 1s. Can't remember the wheel specs off the top of my head. I'll put them on the screen if I find them out. It's also got endless brake pads, which are absolutely amazing. So endless brake pads is what a guy called Misha on YouTube uses when he goes to the ring. And they're really good brake pads. It's got Goodrich braided brake lines. It's got an Apple CarPlay head unit in it as well, which is actually quite cool. I've never had anything like that. So it's got the Apple CarPlay head unit, but I don't really care about that compared to these seats. So these are Recaro SR3s, I think. I always get SR3 and 4 confused. No, these are 4s. I don't know, I'll have to put it on the screen. But these are OEM Recaro seats that come with these cars. And oh my god, they're so comfy. Like, in terms of plushness, they're super plush, and they hold you in place proper tight. Another kind of cool thing about these as well is there's no actual height adjustment on the seat, and you sit like really low on the floor. It's super cool to drive. But other than that, off the top of my head, it's pretty stock. It's not had too much done to it. So anything I've missed, I'll put on the screen. I'll probably put the whole build list on the screen. So, but it's pretty stock. It is going to stay relatively stock, I guess, in my ownership. But I'm going to be doing a lot of maintenance on it and stuff. So in a future video, because my tools and stuff are still coming from the UK. I have a brief sort of basic toolkit here at the minute, but my tools and stuff are still coming from the UK. When I get that, we're going to be doing a lot of work to this car. And I did mention earlier that this is not really suitable for daily driving. And, you know, I didn't want to drive this every day because it's my sort of like weekend car, dream car, and it wouldn't be practical. So I had to get a daily, but I didn't want something boring. So some of you might have clocked it in the background already of this video. I actually have this as well. So like I said, in New Zealand, insurance is a lot more affordable, and it's so affordable in fact it's not actually a legal requirement to insure your cars. So it means that as opposed to the UK, I can have more than one car, and it's sort of practical. It makes sense. So I also have this, which is a 2006 Suzuki Swift Sport. So this is also a Japanese imported car. You know, most of the cars on the street probably are. It makes sense. So this is a 06 Swift Sport. These are only 120 brake horsepower. Like, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but this one's quite cool. This one has a Swift Sport design body kit, I think it's called. It says right here, Suzuki Sport design body kit on it. So it's a front and rear lip, and even though it's on standard ride height suspension, that scrapes on everything. It's actually quite impractical, really, but it's super cool. It looks cool, and I kind of always wanted one of these in the UK. I had my Cooper S and my Fiesta ST, so I kind of like these sort of like underpowered handling cars. So, and I thought, what better to have as a daily. than this thing. So that's that rear lip I was on about. It's super cool. I mean, look at that. That's, oh man, with the Integra in the background as well. It's still like a pinch me moment having one of those cars, man. It's crazy. So yeah, I daily this, and then the Integra is a weekend car. So, and now that it's going to be a garage queen, I'm going to get a lot more sort of content out of it and stuff. So this thing's cool. It's got a keyless entry, so I have the key in my pocket, but if you just press this button, it opens up. Powerful mirrors as well, which is cool. So yeah, this, and I wanted to have the Recaro red seats with these. This is, I'm not sure if this is a rare option, but it's just so cool, especially in a daily. Like, I never had a car with Recaros before, and now I've got two at the same time, so it's like, what are the odds? But yeah, this is basic, so it's got an aftermarket head unit. You'll find a lot of cars in New Zealand have aftermarket head units, because when they come in from Japan, they've all got Japanese buttons on, and we don't know what it says, so we have to put a radio in. But yeah, this is a super little tidy thing. Back seats are down at the minute, because I just recently, I put all 4 wheels in the Integra in there, and a load of other car parts. I managed to get it all in. So yeah, this is just a 1.6 120 brake, really cheap to run. It cost me, when I filled it up, 65 New Zealand dollars, which is about 33 pound ish, something like that. So 33 pounds to fill the thing up, and that was like kind of from empty, really. So it's just crazy, and that lasts like 400 kilometers. Can't remember what that is in miles, but it's a long way, to be fair. So yeah, it's really good on fuel. Super cool little car. So the plans with this, I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this for, because it's just a daily. There is a lot of cars in New Zealand I'm planning to own, so I'll kind of just, I keep the Integra as my, like, I'm keeping that thing, and then I'll just run through dailies just to, like, because I like having lots of cars. But this thing I think would be really cool if I maybe do the wheels black, yellow calipers, needs an exhaust because this thing's stock, and then just a few other little bits and bobs. Plans for this, I definitely want to take it on a track day, because that'd be cool. I would love to take the Integra on a track day, but it's just too nice to potentially ruin on the track. So a lot of you might have noticed it's got wheel spacers as well. Oh, it's got 2 lowering springs. That's another thing this has got. But the fitment is mint. It's so clean. Another thing you might have clocked is the license plate. That didn't come with the car. I bought that because, yeah, my dad kind of talked me into that, my DC5. So it's just so cool, man. Like, it's super cool. Another thing you guys might notice just lying around the garage, it is a mess because I've just moved here, but we've got the original wheels for the car as well, which is great. So there you go. That's where I've been. That's what I've been up to. So honestly, the channel is just going to go crazy from here. I'm going to be doing so much. I don't know. I just feel like I can make such, like, better videos in New Zealand. I got better cars and just, like, more opportunity to do stuff. I mean, already with the Integra, I've hosted my own car meet in New Zealand called Honda's Auckland. I'll put in some photos of the last meet. That was good turnout. I think we had like 28 cars pull up. So that was great. So I'm going to be doing car meets and POV driving and stuff like that. I might, if the weather's all good, I might go for a POV drive in this thing tomorrow. Or even this, if we get the weather, I'll go out on this. So, but yeah, what I'm going to do now is, you can see the garage is a bit of a mess because we just moved here. And I'm going to have my toolboxes and shelves and all stuff down here. And what I've actually got right here is some shelving units and stuff. So we might just do a little time lapse of me cleaning up the garage and making it look all nice. Let's clean this garage up and make it look mint.